Welcome back, everybody. We're finally back with another Magic the Gathering deck building, deck talking video kind of thing. Today we're talking budget pieces in Edgar Markov. So I want to talk about budget pieces because Edgar himself is a very expensive card. He is currently listed on TCG Player at near mint is $95 and at lightly played is $85. So if you're building, if you're buying Edgar, you're probably not building for budget. But if you are spending that much money on one card, you probably want to save a little bit in the rest of the deck, which is understandable. So Edgar Markov, here he is right here. I have my copy. He currently, you're looking to pay $85 to $95 if you're looking to buy him on TCG Player as of right now. So some budget pieces that I have that are not from the pre-con that I'm playing him in, as well as just cards from different sets, cards from current sets, older sets. So these are my budget pieces that I'm going to be going over right now. First off, some honorable mentions that I'd like to play in the deck. These three cards are out of the budget, so my budget, I want to go for under $3. So these three cards are over $3, but I really like them in the deck. They're fun to play. I really enjoy playing them. First one is Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. You can get this. Currently, the regular version of him is about $4.50, but we want to budget under $3. But you could probably find him cheaper. You could probably trade for him, trade something from your trade binder, something that you pull. He's a very, very important piece in my deck. I really recommend him. This one's a little bit more expensive. It's listed around $8, I want to say. But that's because this is the promo one. I pulled this in the random Walmart cubes that will randomly come out. I got a few of these, so I have him in my Edgar deck here. Good vampire card, but over the $3 budget. So this is $4.50 for the regular version. This full version is probably around $8 right now, I want to say. So a little bit out of budget, but still a really fun card. And it's still under $5 if you can find them for cheap. Look for him at your local game store. Look for him in trade binders. And he's probably in Magic 21 packs as well. So you can find him there. So he is our first budget piece. That is an honorable mention. Honorable mention number 2 is Welcoming Vampire. Welcoming Vampire is from Crimson Vow. It's a flyer, 2/3. Whenever one or more other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Its ability triggers only once each turn. But for a 3-drop, that lets you draw when you create tokens with Edgar. So Edgar, of course, when you cast another vampire, you create a 1/1 token, vampire token. This sees other creatures, so it includes tokens. Vampires come in at 1/1, so you draw a card. Good card draw engine. But Welcoming Vampire right now, the regular version, it is sitting at $6.25. The holo is sitting about $7.50. I have one of each. I run one in a token creation deck, then I run one in this Vampire Edgar Markov token creation deck. Really good card, really important to the synergy of the deck. I haven't actually drawn her yet in my games with Edgar, but she's a really good piece. I really do enjoy having her in this deck. And then my third budget piece for the honorable mention, this is kind of out of the budget a good bit if you don't want to spend more than $10 on a card. But if you want to go, we have Olivia Crimson Bride. Another card from Crimson Vow. 4 black red. So it's a 6-cost creature, vampire noble. Flying haste, and whenever Olivia Crimson Bride attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains when you don't control a legendary vampire. Exile this creature. And she's a 3/4. So this card is currently sitting on TCG Player for $11.30. So quite a bit out of budget. But if you have a trade binder, it should be a pretty easy card to find, I feel like, in current trade binders, due to Crimson Vow being the last set to come out before Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So you might be able to find her in some of your local card shops and some trade binders around your town or city, and you should be able to get it for cheaper or even trade for her. But in this video, we're going for $3 or less for cards, for creatures in particular. So at $11.30, out of the budget for sure. But if you can get her for cheap, if you can find her in a trade binder, get her. She's a lot of fun. She makes your deck so much more fun. So these are my honorable mentions for the budget build deck that are not already in the pre-con that I used for Edgar. So we're gonna move these out of the way. And we only have 9. Since we did 3 honorable mentions, we only have 9 creatures over here. So we're going to go in order of the price of these cards. And we're going to start with the most expensive one. It is $2.40. And it is Legion Lieutenant. It is black and white. A Vampire Knight creature. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. So he is a 2/2. This card is from 2018. I don't know what set that is, RIX, because I didn't play until last year. So I only know like 2020 sets really, because I kind of dipped back into 2020, but I'm a 2021 player like onwards. So yeah, Legion Lieutenant though, it's $2.40. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. That includes your tokens. So your tokens are 2/2s if this is on the field. So really good card. I really enjoy using it. A good budget piece, $2.40 for a 2-drop vampire that you can play on your second turn. You create a token, you have 2 creatures out turn 2, and they're both 2/2s. $2.40, steal right there. Next card is Vampire of the Dire Moon. So Vampire of the Dire Moon is a vampire creature. It is 1 black to cast, so just black. And this is in Magic 20, the set M20. It's a 1/1 vampire with Death Touch and Lifelink. It's a good thing to throw out turn 1. If you have it in your opening hand, you get another vampire token. This has Death Touch and Lifelink. So if you're using Veto triggers off of it. If you're using Legion Lieutenant, this becomes a 2/2. Death Touch, Lifelink. People usually don't want to block Death Touch. And you're gonna, if you're attacking with it every turn, Lifelink, you're getting life. So really great card. This is only $2. $2 for Vampire of the Dire Moon. Great piece there. Our number 7 budget card. This is $1.25 currently, and it is Edgar Charmed Groom. So this is from Crimson Vow, the newest set outside of Neon Dynasty that just came out 2 weeks ago. Edgar Charmed Groom is 2 black and white. Legendary creature, Vampire Noble. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. We love to get those +1/+1s on vampires. When Edgar Charmed Groom dies, returns to the battlefield, transforms its under control, and it flips to the Edgar's Coffin. A 4/4 4-drop with Edgar Markov. This is just such a good budget piece. This is $1.25 right now on TCG Player. The next card up is Stromkirk Noble. This card, Stromkirk Noble, is currently 50 cents on TCG Player for a non-foil. This is a foil, it's a little bit more. I got it at LGS. So this is a 1 red creature vampire. Stromkirk Noble can be blocked by humans. Whenever Stromkirk Noble deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's a 1/1 red. You create the extra token with Edgar. And ideally, if this is out turn 1, you're hitting someone turn 2. Someone's not going to have a turn 1 play. It just happens that way. So you get it, and then he just keeps building himself up. He keeps adding those +1/+1 counters. So he can very quickly get out of hand. He's only 50 cents right now. Next card up is... Actually, this card goes before Stromkirk Noble, but we're going to leave it this way. We only do one take here. Cruel Celebrant, black and white. When Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each one loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. You have a lot of token fodder. You can just throw them at the things, let them die, trigger death effects, trigger all kinds of things that happen. 1 and a 2, well, 1, 2, 1 power, 2 toughness, black and white. This is a $1 card. So this actually is more expensive than Stromkirk Noble. This is from War of the Spark. So pretty recent set. You can still buy it in most stores for pretty cheap. Definitely recommend. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. So I gotta change that order up right there. Next card up is a card that you can find for 70 cents currently. No Priest of Oblivion. No Priest of Oblivion is a 1 in a black. So you can play it on your second turn. It's Menace, Lifelink. Lifelink's always good with Veto. Menace, they need 2 things to block it. But if you kick it for the extra 3 in a black, so for 6 mana total, when No Priest of Oblivion enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you start stacking up a lot of these smaller vampires and people need to get rid of them, you end up with a lot of stuff in your graveyard. This can bring one of those back for 4 extra mana. I think it's worth it if it's at the right time of the game. So really good card. Not too expensive, 70 cents. You can find it probably in, honestly, probably in your LGS's bulk rares or in someone's just binder of bulk. And you could give them $1 or trade them cards that are 70 cents in value. But yeah, this is our 70-cent card. Pretty solid. It's actually above Stronghold Noble as well. But I mean, the market does fluctuate. You probably can get these around the same price anyways. Okay, next up we have 2 cards at 5 cents. So we'll just start one of them. Bloodtithe Harvester. So Bloodtithe Harvester, black and red vampire creature. When Bloodtithe Harvester enters the battlefield, create a blood token. And you can tap, sack Bloodtithe Harvester. Target creature gets -X/-X until the turn, where X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. Activate only as a sorcery. It's a 3/2 creature. So in this deck, it is the Strefyn Mar Progenitor Precon with Edgar as the commander. We've added in our white source as well in there. But if you get this card out, you get to create blood tokens. There are a bunch of other creatures in the deck that create blood tokens. So this is at the beginning of your end step, create a blood token for each player who lost life this turn. So if you start stacking up blood tokens, you pretty quickly get to Bloodtithe Harvester. And with him, you can sack him, you can get rid of a big thing on the board, giving it -X/-X, twice the number of blood tokens. So in the past games I just played, I had Strefyn out. I was able to get up to one turn I had 4 blood tokens, the next turn I had 5. So I had a good amount of blood tokens out. This card capitalizes on those blood tokens for sure. He's only 5 cents, by the way, out of the newest, or the second most recent set, Crimson Vow. Also out of Crimson Vow, 5 cent, Party Girl, Gluttonous Guest. 2 and a black, vampire creature. When Gluttonous Guest enters the battlefield, create a blood token. There's blood tokens again. When you sacrifice a blood token, you gain 1 life. Gain life is always important. Activates and triggers with veto to 1/4. I mean, being able to get a second payoff on your blood tokens, pretty important. And it's only 5 cents right now. And then the last card that is a penny right now that was in Modern Horizons 2, Legion Vanguard. So I like this creature in this deck because 1 is a vampire. It's a 2-drop vampire. And you can pay 1, sacrifice another creature. Legion Vanguard explores. So explore is reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. So it's essentially a scry effect. But if it's a land, you get to take it. If it's not, you pitch it or you leave it there. If you pitch it, or you leave it on the top of your deck. So pretty much if it's not a land, you get to add a +1/+1 counter to him. And working off of other effects in the deck, such as Blood Artist, Falconwrath Noble, Cruel Celebrant. When you sack in that creature, it's going to be a vampire. It's probably going to be a vampire token. Triggers happen. They'll end up taking damage due to that trigger happening, due to sacrificing that token. And then you get to scry, you get to add cards, you get to +1/+1 counters. This is a penny. You can find it probably in most bulk anywhere. It's a uncommon vampire that fits very, very well in Edgar, I feel like. So there you have it. These are our budget pieces. Everything right here is under $1. You can find these 5 cards for under $1 on TCG Player. I would honestly recommend going to your LGS, looking at in your Discords and your communities and trying to find these cards for cheap. I'm pretty sure most people will probably just give them away to you, to be honest. These next cards are all $1 to $2.40, and it's Cruel Celebrant, Edgar Charmed Groom, Vampire the Dire Moon, and Legion Lieutenant. So this is where I wanted to add my white vampire source into the deck, and it's Cruel Celebrant, Edgar, Legion Lieutenant. They work well. They give counters. They activate triggers. When things die, things happen, and we love that. So pretty good cards. These 2 I got from friends, so I didn't even pay for these. I pulled this in a pack. Also pulled this in a pack. So yeah, these are just great cards, and I would recommend that you add cards like these to your deck, especially if you're trying to keep a budget with Edgar, because I mean it can get pretty pricey when you're spending $90 on a commander, which is what I did. And then these are pieces that I've pulled and I had, so they were easy for me to add them into my deck. So this is my budget build for Edgar. If you have any other budget cards, budget pieces, budget creatures is really what I'm looking for. Just make sure to drop them down in the comments. I really do enjoy adding stuff to my deck, and especially if it's cheap, just because I think it adds more like variety to the game. I don't like the games that constantly end with the same things, with like Mana Drain, Cyclonic Rift, that where you're seeing tutors all the time. I don't run any tutors in this Edgar deck. I don't have any. I don't run any fetch lands either. So I know that Edgar's very strong, so that's why I kind of handicap him with no tutors, no fetches, those kinds of things. So yeah, this is my budget build for Edgar. There's literally 9 cards under $2.50 that you can add right now. Olivia, $11. Welcoming Vampire, $6. Vito, $4.50, $4.50. So I really recommend that you add cards that fit your budget. These happen to fit mine. I want to go very cheap for the deck of Edgar. So yeah. Any other questions, comments, leave them down in the comments below. Also, new playmat. Coral Sword playmat. It is my local game store. My favorite game store to go to. My favorite shop to play at. Great food, great vibes, good coffee, great lemonade, awesome playmats. Yeah, if you have any more questions, leave me down in the comments. Make sure to like, share the video, subscribe if you aren't, and have a good day. Catch y'all later.